Hello, farmers, and welcome to another discussion with me, Janine Ryan. I am the editor of Farmers Weekly. Today, I will be speaking to Willemien Pieterse. She is a cattle inspector as well as a show judge, and she will be speaking to us about these industries. Hello and welcome, Willemien. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, Janine, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, Willemien, I think before we sort of dive into it, maybe just clarify exactly what it is that you do for the listeners. So, in terms of animal inspection, and then in terms of your job as a show judge.
Okay. So I mostly do inspections. I do inspections for a few of the breeds like Cimbra, Brafford, Limousin, and also Brown V. So what that comes down to, I go to the farmers, have a look at their herds, at the animals, the registered herds, and then see if they are compliant with the breed specifications of that specific breed. So that will go into structural and also appearances. Yeah.
So, would that be specifically for stud farmers then? So, I mean, do commercial farmers have their cattle inspected in this way?
No, they don't. What I do is go for commercial farmers is like do like a consultation, like go to them, look at the animals, maybe select females for breeding or doing like recommendations on bulls and such. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
And you mentioned that you do inspections for sort of a variety of breeds. Are they sort of the same in terms of what they require, the breeder societies require in terms of confirmation and visual appraisal, so on and so forth, or are they completely different? Are they like completely different checklists almost?
No, not really. Like structural correctness, confirmation, like you say, that's across breeds, that's all the same. Like the same, you look, that's across the breeds, that's the same standard that you're looking at. What you do have is like in specific breeds, there's certain requirements, let's say color or markings, etc., or being polled or horned or dehorned. Things like that might differ, yes.
And then once you've inspected, let's say a bull,
Mm.
what happens in the inspection process? Why, firstly, would someone want their animals inspected? And then what happens during that process? So you go out, you inspect the animal, and what happens after that?
Okay, so inspections, it's more like almost quality control. It's like giving a breeder and also the buyer the that this animal is fitting and for the requirements of the specific breed. So it's like, yeah, a quality control, if you can
Yeah,
say that,
it's like
to
an
make
assurance certificate.
Yes, yes. So what you do is you go out to the farm, you look at the animals, make sure all of the requirements are in place, and you will then send that through to the society, and then they can register that bull and sell it as part of that that society. Yes.
And is it quite strict? So I know
Mm.
that breeder societies obviously have disqualification criteria for every breed.
Yes.
But then is there almost like a pass mark? So if your bull meets 80% of the requirements, then it passes.
Yes. It depends on the society. So some of it work with linear classification. So you give marks for specific traits. And if it scores below what the requirement is, then obviously it's being disqualified. And then there is so yeah, you give it a like a pass mark for it being in that criteria. Mm.
Okay. And is it, I know like with horses, for example, some
Mm.
societies, the pass mark is like like a
Mm.
stallion it
Yes.
requires a higher pass mark than a mare, for example. Is that a similar type of thing with cattle?
Yes, definitely the bulls. You are being more strict with the bulls, as they are like being sold for breeding, etc. But I
Mm,
personally believe like females also need to go under the same strictness, because
mm,
the female is the breeding stock. It's the fabric that everything comes off of, and
mm.
it's the females that breeds the bulls. So
Exactly.
yes,
Mm.
yes,
And also,
yes,
I think, with bulls, it was always this idea that bulls produce obviously a lot more progeny than female
yes,
animals. But nowadays, with embryo flashing and artificial insemination, I mean, a female animal can produce a huge amount of offspring. So it doesn't really make
yes.
sense anymore to have that, like, well, the bulls are a little more important because they produce more offspring. It doesn't really make sense to have that narrative anymore.
Yes, I think a bull can make an impact in a shorter, maybe amount of time as you use it on a
Mm,
lot of animals. But
mm,
like you say, with how things are working these days, the
mm.
females also have a big impact on the industry. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get I mean, how long have you been doing it for, firstly? Like how many years?
Oh, I'm not even sure. It's been it's been a few years. It's been a few
That's a
years.
long time then.
Yeah, but it's yeah, since like doing full on inspections, it's not like, let's say it's like 4 maybe years they're doing full on inspections and
Mm,
etc. But yeah, so it's always been a big passion of mine ever since I was a little girl. I had a big thing for cattle and being raised on a farm, and it's always been a big interest and passion. So I think it was natural to evolve into that, because
mm,
it's actually like an evolution yeah, that took me into it. Yeah.
mm.
Mm.
And like, I've been on farms and stuff where you walk amongst the cattle, and some of them
Mm.
are happy to see you there and the others not so much. Is that quite a scary aspect of your job? Because you have to be like up close and personal with animals that are large and may not actually want you there?
Um, well, I'm very quick and I jump very high, so I can get out of a crawl very easily. I promise.
Good grief.
So I'm quite famous for how fast I can get up
Okay.
there. But
So you're quite agile.
yeah, you need to be sometimes. So actually, temperament is a big factor when inspecting animals. So you do not want to breed that bad temperament into it. But
Mm,
obviously, with inspections and animals moving and being in an environment that they're not in every day, sometimes they do
mm,
show temperament. So it's also like making a judgment call sometimes. But if an animal is really aggressive, they do
mm.
not pass at all.
Okay.
So yes, some of them more happy, others not at all.
Yeah. Okay, but
Mm,
that's interesting that it is actually a requirement that there must be some
yes.
sort of docility. I'm not even sure if that's a word, but some sort of
Yeah.
docileness in the animal in order
Yes.
for it to pass. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's really important. Well, it depends. You get farms that are located in areas that they do
Mm,
need a bit of more temperament to keep the animals safe.
yeah.
But yes, as a general factor, when it's like threatening to you or your employees or your, yeah, then definitely a big no.
Okay.
Mm.
And so what would you say is your sort of favorite part of the job? What do you enjoy doing the most?
Oh, Janine, I think it's just like having the opportunity to work with so many people, and you get to see people's passion. You get
Mm,
to have a part of that. And it's such a privilege actually to be like a tool in their toolbox to help improve make an improvement, and seeing them moving up with the quality of the animals.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I really enjoy that. It's honestly very humbling when you go to
Mm.
visit farmers and see how they do things, how everybody makes it work. And yes.
Mm.
Mm.
And so how many inspections do you do on like a weekly basis, for example?
It depends. Uh, so it's not like a year-round thing. You most likely start around March. It starts to get busy, and then around this time, it takes down in the inspections, as with a lot of mixed farms, people, and with the auction times, etc. So you will, yeah, it's around from March to around this time, and then
Okay.
yeah, so it can be anything from 1 to like 5 days a week. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a lot because so you obviously do a lot of traveling
A,
because
a
those
lot.
farms are widely, yeah, separated. But do you stick to a particular area or are you sort of countrywide?
Yes, countrywide. There's areas that I have more breeders, but and areas that doesn't have a lot. Yeah, there's not a lot of them in those areas. But yes, you travel quite extensively, and well, it's a bit of both worlds. So you get to see a lovely country that you live in, and
Mm.
experience beautiful sunrises and sunsets and scenery, and but you spend a lot of time in your car.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Um,
imagine.
mm,
And so does every animal, I mean, this is actually sort of for my own knowledge even, because I
mm.
was just thinking about I don't actually know this information. Does every animal that's registered with the society is every single one of those animals like inspected before they're registered? Or is it like you have a registered bull who mates with a registered cow and their progeny is automatically sort of registered?
Yeah, so it depends on um so in a society, if you have a registered bull and a registered cow, then their progeny has to be inspected before they can be registered.
Okay.
So yeah, so you have like a on melding, you have to announce, so you have to announce like births and things, and that would go on to calf book, and then
Mhm.
those animals need to be inspected and fit the requirements before they can go through as a registered animal.
Okay, so it's not just taken for granted that because both parents are registered that both parents meet requirements and therefore the progeny will probably
Yeah.
also meet requirements. That's quite
Yes.
interesting.
Yes, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You can take the best looking bull and the best looking
Mm.
cow, and that might not even breed anything for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Shows you
mm.
genetics, funny things.
Yes.
Um, and then so what have your like what do you think the biggest challenges are for you in this industry? Is it the travel, like trying to get from one place to the next in too few hours, or like what is a thing that you would like to change if you could?
The traveling sure takes a bit of time. I mean, I don't really get to travel for less than 2 hours. I travel up to
Mhm.
8 hours to get to some places. So
Wow.
I think, like I say, there's a pro and a con to that. But
Mm.
also for the breeder, I mean, traveling costs, it's expensive. So that's also why I try to join as many breeds as possible. Then if you do visit an area, you are able to maybe fit more than one breeder
Mm.
into that time frame, especially when traveling far.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So you do sort of
yes,
kill a few birds with one stone.
yes, definitely.
Mm.
The other thing, well, I don't really have bad experiences with breeders, so I cannot complain to that at all. But it's not always easy because you're working with somebody's, let's say, finances, their money, and their passion. So it's not always easy when you do have to tell people this is not up to standard, or so I would say that's the hardest part of it.
Yeah, delivering bad news. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it
Yeah.
is like it's how much money has gone into producing that animal, and then it's like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it
And
doesn't
time.
into the
And time.
finance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how for people who perhaps want to get into this kind of career path, like what should they do? What are the first steps that they need to follow?
Well, I think definitely you don't do this when you don't have the passion for it. It's definitely something that you need to have a natural ability to it as well. That helps a lot. Um, and then you need to do courses, inspection and judging courses, and get involved. Go and there's so many really knowledgeable people in the industry. Go and gain as much knowledge from them as possible. Like, don't ever think you know it all.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Mm.
And actually also wanted to ask how long does one inspection take?
Um, it depends on the number of animals. Like, it can be
Mm.
half an hour. It can take up to a day or two. Yeah, the number of animals, and also per animal. If you are really like doing it a lot, it's like 2-3 minutes an animal. If that answers your
Okay.
question. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so and I guess it
Mm.
also sort of depends on the temperament of the animal, like if they not
Yes.
sort of willing to cooperate too much, it might take a bit longer.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a lot of factors that you can take into account, and
Mm.
sometimes you just like I can get really distracted when I really like something, so I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, and I'm just looking at it and appreciating it. So, and other
Mm.
times you need to point out some things, and that's the
Mm.
thing. It's like a nice discussion. You're there with the breeder, and he tells you what he sees, and and it's like a back and forth. It's a conversation happening.
Mm.
So yes.
Okay, that's awesome.
Mm.
So from inspecting to show judging, how did you sort of get into, I mean, I guess it makes sense that one would flow into the other because you already know what to look for, which is obviously
Mm.
what you're doing when you show judging. But why that part of the profession?
Um, well, I can only speak for for me personally, but so if you do the courses, obviously it's for both, so you can either way decide. A lot of people only like doing the shows, as it is not that much travel. Yeah, you're not traveling as much. Well, depends who you are and where you're from.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
But yes, yeah. But I think like showing is, let's say it's like the pudding of it. Like yeah, it's just very enjoyable. You get to see a lot of animals from different areas in the show ring. Yeah, I like doing it for that reason. I like to see how the animals differ from area to area.
Hmm.
And yes, it's just nice. It's also a nice learning experience. It's yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, and I guess it also makes sense that, you inspect the animals, they get registered, and then they go on show. So it's like
Yes.
seeing this
The full,
progression from like beginning to
yeah.
end almost. Yeah, that's very, very nice. Um,
Yes.
and so you said people, if they're interested in getting into this kind of career path, there's a lot of
Mm.
courses that they have to do, which
Mm.
covers inspection and show judging.
Mm.
And who can they do those courses through? Do the breeder societies offer them, or are there other places they should go look?
Yes, breeder societies, they post it. You can look on Facebook, and breeder societies will put up advertisement for courses coming up. Like next week, there's one with the Simmenthalers that I'm going to be attending, and looking
Mm.
very much forward to that. Yeah, so you can just like watch out, and you can even contact them and ask them if there's anything coming up, to let you know. And yes.
Okay. And you're sort of an independent contractor, right? So a breeder will call you and ask you to come inspect their animals for
Yes.
registration. So
Yes.
I guess there's an aspect of self-marketing and all of that involved as well.
Yes, I think that comes in with the shows. Why you do the shows is that people get familiar and also comfortable with your view and how you see animals, because we all see things differently. And
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing. Working with a breeder, it's a trust bond that you form with that breeder, because like I say, it's a lot of their time and passion that goes into it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I mean, if you're somebody who has that passion for animals and
Yeah.
who enjoys traveling, then, then this yeah is perhaps something that people should look into.
Yes, yes.
And just I think sort of one final question with the show judging. What is the biggest, well, two questions actually. So what is the biggest challenge in terms of show judging? And then what do you enjoy the most about it?
I find, well, not to go back to that, but I think inspections might be more challenging in a sense. But yeah, well, it's obviously when the winner is always happy with you, and the loser is, or not the
That's
loser,
true.
yeah, and not, but the one that didn't place first is always
Yeah.
upset with you. So yeah, obviously you're somebody's favorite person, and you're another
Yeah, that's
person's,
true.
yeah,
Not good. Yeah.
yeah. It's, what I really like enjoying yeah, what I really enjoy about it is just being able, like, you make so many friends in that environment, and it's like you get to see them catch up, you get to see really good animals. And also I think showing is progressing into the type of animals that we see coming through as winners. They're more animals that are really functioning, and well, that's the type of animal I really like, is a really well functioning animal that can go to the farm and really produce, because
Mm,
showing is just like a small part of it. And like you said, it's a marketing aspect, but
mm,
you're marketing your animals, we shouldn't forget, they need to be breeders, they need to provide the produce.
mm,
Yes, so I think that's, yeah, that's the nice thing I like about it.
Yeah, it's ultimately about efficiency, really. I mean,
Yes,
I guess all the
yes.
inspections are also about ultimately producing more animals that are like the perfect example of a particular breed.
Yes, and functionality goes across borders. I mean, that doesn't come down to a specific breed. I mean, everybody
Mm,
farms with a breed that works for them and their area, but
mm.
a functional animal that produces, and I mean, that's what you need when you do own cattle.
Well, thank you very, very much for joining me, Willemien. I think it's really interesting, actually. I mean, I've never really given much thought about inspections. I mean, we're always talking about studs, and we're always talking about this registered animal, that registered animal, blah 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 blah. But
Mm.
we've never really focused very much on the process that's involved in producing these amazing stud animals that we like to look at auctions and shows. So thank you very much for shedding some light on that.
Oh no, it's my pleasure. I hope it was like you said, insightful.